Hello everyone, welcome to the next episode of SpongeBob Now. Today, I will be talking about free samples and home sweet Rubble. First, I'm going to talk about free samples. Enjoy. Plotting to ruin Mr. Krabs, Plankton comes up with a new and original idea, giving out free samples. However, Karen points out this idea is not new and original at all. Plankton gives out free chum sticks to eager Bikini Bottomites, but not long after they eat his chum, they start to suffer from food poisoning. Plankton makes a run for it, and the sickened customers pursue him to the chum bucket, except for Patrick, who eats the chum and does not mind at all. Hiding from the furious mob, Karen points out that the people would never do this to Mr. Krabs if he gave out free samples, and Plankton gets an idea. He sells chum burgers under the name Krabby Patties, and gives them out for free, with the intent of smearing the Krusty Krab's name. However, when the customers become suspicious and one recognizes him as the same guy who made the rotten chum samples before, he quickly lies and tells the customers it was his brother-in-law, Plankton, and they believe him. Sure enough, the customers get sick. When SpongeBob goes to the Krusty Krab, he sees an angry mob, mistaking it for a crowd of hungry and impatient customers. When he enters, he sees Mr. Krabs hiding behind a table, who explains that the customers have somehow turned on him and the Krabby Patties, and he cannot find out why. A brick is thrown through the window, wrapped in a piece of paper which says the Krabby Patties taste terrible. SpongeBob is shocked, and they realize they need to win their customers back. Mr. Krabs comes up with the idea to triple the prices, but SpongeBob says it is not a good idea, so Mr. Krabs decides to lower prices by 1 cent. SpongeBob tells Mr. Krabs the only way to win them back is to give away free samples, which horrifies Mr. Krabs. When he realizes that no customers at all is worse than giving away free samples, he reluctantly agrees. Soon after, SpongeBob goes on the streets with a grill, ready to give away free Krabby Patties. Mr. Krabs is having second thoughts, but SpongeBob chains him to heavy concrete blocks, telling Mr. Krabs that it is for his own good. SpongeBob announces his free goods, but nobody answers. SpongeBob uses his backup plan, playing a calliope with Squidward acting as the monkey. People are attracted to the sounds of the calliope, and Squidward in a monkey costume dances to a woman and a baby in a stroller. When the baby throws a coin at Squidward's head, he rips off his costume and leaves. When the people learn that SpongeBob is giving out free Krabby Patties, they are hesitant. Mr. Krabs laughs that even free is not good enough for them, then is horrified when he realizes how bad that is for business. He gives up and leaves. Plankton watches from afar, celebrating his accomplishment in ruining the Krusty Krab. However, SpongeBob refuses to give up and vows they will fix this, and when Mr. Krabs suggests he get a new job in a different way, he overhears new and different and realizes how to win the customers back. SpongeBob tries a different approach, selling new Krabby Patties. This does not work at first, until a customer named Frank lets his hunger gets the best of him, and he realizes he would rather take his chances than go hungry any longer. As soon as he takes a bite, he is instantly smitten with the Krabby Patty. He empties his pockets and asks how much it will get him. More people come to eat free samples, as well as paying extra, feeling the Krabby Patty is so good it should not be free. Frank then jumps really high and goes above water for a second. When Plankton hears the commotion, he walks over and gets upset. A truck dumps money on SpongeBob, as does a helicopter, which causes money to fly all around. One bill lands on Mr. Krabs' nose, and he runs to the stand. The two happily celebrate over saving the Krusty Krab, and Mr. Krabs asks how he did such a thing. SpongeBob reveals he technically sold the real Krabby Patties, but under a new name with a different taste. Mr. Krabs then leaps into the pile of money, right on top of Plankton, and makes money angels. SpongeBob joins him, but they stop when they hear Plankton's high-pitched screams. Mr. Krabs asks what that noise was, but SpongeBob did not hear it. They resume making money angels as the episode ends. Next, I'm going to talk about Home Sweet Rubble. Enjoy! One morning, SpongeBob's pineapple home starts wilting. When SpongeBob wakes up, he is ready to give Gary breakfast, but when he sees his home's condition, he puts off feeding Gary until it is fixed. He boards up the sides, and is ready to feed him. However, his house only continues to rot, and SpongeBob realizes he needs help, so he calls for Patrick. Patrick is dreaming that he is in an office, doing weird things on his desk. The phone rings and his secretary tells him that there is a call from SpongeBob. When the message is put through, Patrick hears SpongeBob calling for help. Then, he wakes up and goes to the pineapple. Squidward comes over after hearing the ruckus and SpongeBob tells him he could use his help. Patrick grabs his arms and wraps him around the pineapple. SpongeBob's arms are full, so he asks Patrick to call Sandy. However, with Patrick being his typical self, he fails to fully understand the problem, and he has small talk with her instead. When she hears part of the wall falling, she realizes that something is not right, so she goes to the pineapple. Mr. Krabs also comes over, asking what is going on, since SpongeBob is 2 hours late for work. They agree to help him, but Mr. Krabs will do it for 1 week of SpongeBob's wages per hour. They remodel the home as Gary continues to walk around with a can. Mr. Krabs and Sandy add their own flair to the house while remodeling it, both ignoring SpongeBob's protests. SpongeBob asks Gary, who is holding a can, if he ever feels like he is being ignored, and Gary assents. When the rebuilding is complete, SpongeBob is not happy with the changes. He explores his new home, with new exterior, futuristic bathroom and a lot more. He sees Gary is still hungry, so he takes a can from a shelf being held by Squidward's hands. However, the weight of the can was the only thing keeping Squidward's hands in place, and his arms start to unravel and the home collapses. Climbing out of the rubble, Squidward angrily chastises SpongeBob, but it is cut short by severe pain in his neck, so he goes home. SpongeBob, dejected, calls to have his home condemned. Gary presents SpongeBob with a can, and SpongeBob opens it. Out pops a pineapple, which lands on the rubble and is fully furnished inside. All this time, Gary was trying to show SpongeBob the can, which contained a fully furnished pineapple. SpongeBob reads off the front of the can, which says, "Furnished pineapple in a can." SpongeBob then hugs Gary, saying, "You're the best," and then laughs happily. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more videos. Goodbye everyone.